Good afternoon, all. Welcome to the Joint Parks O&M Committee. Just a quick thing, we only got 15 minutes, so we got to just get with it to move on, so we're not late for the other meetings. I need a motion to approve the minutes of prior meetings. So moved. Mr. Dickinson, Mayor Blaze. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. I'm going to turn it right over to Jeff.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Chairman. The first item is a request to authorize payment to the Village of Lake George. This is to reimburse for maintenance of the park, and you'll see on page 1 is the request, and then we've got pages 2 through 13 detail the hours and the materials used.
How much did you pad this, Mr. Mayor?
Exact hours, we used exact hours.
For the entire season.
Yeah, for the entire season.
It's a large request, but it is
It's a large request.
the entire season.
The
right?
entire season, all right. So that everybody knows that's the whole season at the festival space.
Yeah.
All right, do I get a motion? Yeah, Ms. Frazier, Mr. Dickinson, I think you had your hand up. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. All right. Now we'll move it down to Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, we opened up the bids for the water feature, which is the last element that was on the plans for Wood Park, and Bill's here today. We've got a request in from Jared Kaddish from Lon. The bids came in under budget with alternate 1 and 2. If we were going to accept 1, 2, and 3, we'd be over budget by approximately $11,000. The bids came in at $210,000, and we have a budget of $220,000, I believe. The low bidder was CMJ, is that it, from Mayfield, New York, and that would be for the fountain itself and pervious pavers around the perimeter, which would act as a walkway. There were other alternates there, landscaping, benches, and movement of some natural rocks that we feel we can do ourselves and keep the project under budget. The landscaping would put us over if we did the landscaping by about $11,000, but I would remind the members that we're going out to bid this week with the stage, and we're pretty certain the stage is going to come in slightly over budget. So I would recommend on behalf of the village that we accept the low bid of, is it 209?
For the base bid,
The
217,
base bid,
551 altogether.
and alternate number 1, which is the pervious pavers. And ask this committee to approve that today, and then as part of my motion, or I'll just make that motion now, that we approve the low bids for the water feature on Wood Park, the base bid and alternate number 1.
Second it. Dickinson, second it. Anybody have any questions? And that includes the, from the Octax, that 150, we still have that in there from 2 years ago, right? Okay.
150 from Octax and 70,000 from our remaining grant in Wood Park.
Okay. All right, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Now, Mr. Chairman, does that have to go to the full Board of Supervisors
I think it does 2 weeks from now.
a week from now?
2 weeks. 2 weeks, or a week from this coming Friday, I think.
Okay. All right, because our meeting is a week from Monday. The contractors are already called and they're anxious, so I just give them a timeline, that's all. Thank you.
All right.
The second one is, we had a gentleman stop in the Village Hall from Fort Ann and gave us the original sign that was at Gaslight Village. And so we made a proposal. Superintendent Dave and I put together a additional sign that we could put up at the park to show people what was there, with original photographs of Gaslight Village, a ticket, an admission ticket, a ticket stub, and some advertising from the newspapers, and I'll pass this around so you can take a look at it, and Dave will tell you how we intend to create it, and where we would put it in the park.
Yeah, so the location would be between the restroom building and the entrance to the festival space. There's a green space on each side of the restroom facing it. So we would put it up there, kind of facing the walkway. So as people walked in, I know I didn't make enough copies, but it's going to be about 7 foot tall. That sign would be at the very top. That gas light would be at the very top of it. And then there's a reader board, which is the other one that's going around right here, that shows pictures of the gas light and advertisements from a long time ago. That would be in the center of it, at a 45-degree angle. You would walk up and read, and it would say on this, formally on this site, and then tell you all about Gaslight Village. So the prices I have to have that constructed, the framework would be about $300 to be welded up, and then the sign itself is about $150. The one that Mr. Garrity has in his hands would be about $150. So I think it'd be kind of a neat attraction.
I do too.
You know, it tells you what was on this site, why it's what it is now.
Do we have the funds for that, or do we have to,
It's $450.
If you don't have the funds, Mr. Chairman, the village will be glad to.
and the town like
And I
design
mean
will
that.
give you a little of that too,
I mean
so
that,
let's
yeah.
move along.
I'm up for election next year, so
Oh, that was-
I want you to know. that
I don't have to run anymore.
We'll be willing to
You
do
know, I
that.
got 2 more years and then I don't have to run.
I think it'd just be neat to have something on the site so people know what it looks
No, I
like.
think it's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, so we need a motion then to go ahead and move that, Ms. Frazier, Mr. Leggett. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's passed.
So the stage bids, Mr. Chairman, as I mentioned, the county has put together the specifications. They'll be going out to bid this week. We have a list of 10 companies that are interested, hopefully, in bidding. Just a reminder that we received a grant through Senator Betty Little through the New York State Dormitory Authority, who has now given us the authorization to go to bid. And the grant was for $200,000. They prepared specs for the stage. It'll be a movable stage that can be useful throughout the entire county. Needs to be, when it is moved, it needs to be hauled by a semi. The town has one. I know the county has one. We don't intending to move it often, but at least it'll be useful for other events, and from the city of Glens Falls up to North Creek and Chestertown. We expect, with the options that we attach to it, that the bids will come in slightly over budget, so we'll have a chance to look at those once we get the bids back. I believe they set the opening for December 2nd.
Do we need a motion to move that on, or just as
I think we already did.
okay. Right.
The next item is the New York State Police Pedestrian School. They are coming to Lake George in next October. They're using the Fort William Henry as their host hotel. There'll be approximately 200 officers from around the state. It's a pedestrian safety school sponsored by the New York State Police. They're asking to use the county parking lot. It's on October 19th. It's after we take the parking stations in, and I spoke to Superintendent Tennyson, and we're recommending to this board, they're only going to use the parking lot for an afternoon or a morning of that one single day. And they'll be doing demonstrations on the pavement with pedestrians. And we're suggesting that we allow them to use free of charge. And that DOT and state is heavily involved in some of the construction on the property as well. And we need approval, obviously, of this board.
Anybody got any questions on that? Does somebody want to make a motion for that? Mr.
I'll make that
Dixonson? Mr. Leggett? Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Opposed? Passed.
The last item that I have is an up-to-date a sheet with the groups that we're working with for next year. Again, it looks like we're going to have a year where we'll be booked solid in June and September. We're still a little light in the summer, but we were hoping that we'd be booked solid in the shoulder seasons. We've also got 2 groups coming in May, so we're moving in the right direction. I did send out an annual report to all the supervisors about a week ago on last year's activities, but these are the groups that we're working with this year, so you get an idea of the scope and the variety of groups that are coming, which includes the tow truck show back, the Americade, the Law Enforcement Weekend, the Adirondack Wine and Food Festival, 3 or 4 music festivals, 2 new music festivals, and we're also announcing that on September 24th, we're in the process of booking the Charlie Daniels Band. So again, we'll end the season hopefully with another big event. He's coming through here on the 24th on his way to New York City on his last tour. He's 81 years old. I know how he feels. And this will be his farewell tour. So if we can get him to stop in Lake George and appear at our park, that'll be a good thing, I think, for all of us. That's all that I have, Mr. Chairman.
Is the one, did you get a call from the sheriff? He had called me about some police, benevolent group wanted to use?
It could have been, it was the New York State Police pedestrian event that they called me on. Yeah.
All right, any other questions to the mayor? I'll quickly open it to the public.
Oh.
Oh.
I put that in there with the discussion. Anything you want to talk about now, or?
No, I can wait, it's only got 15 minutes.
Okay. All right, I'll open it real quick to the public, where we got about 3 minutes, because I'd like to get this meeting over, because I know the next couple of meetings are going to be a little longer.
Thank you, Chairman Merlino. This Gina Mincher with the Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce. I just wanted to ask the committee in the future how we could present all of the activities that have happened with regard to the Festival Commons website and social media that we've been contracted on. I just want to make sure that how to do that in the future to present, like maybe after December, a year-end report to the committee.
Actually, we're probably going to have one more tourism meeting and an ARCTEX meeting in December. I mean, that would be...
But for this committee, since it oversees that,
we'll have one more meeting. We're going to have to open bids and stuff, so we'll probably have one in December.
okay.
And
So
we'll just
we
try to
would
keep-
like that privilege then. And just to let the committee know, as an opportunity to expand what's happening at the Festival Commons space, the Charles R. Wood Park, we just did a promotion with the auto show in Albany to promote all of the car shows that happen around the county. At last week's auto show, it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday show in Albany to promote Lake George and all of our car shows, and more news to come on that when we present. But we did an opportunity, a landing page where they could enter to win prizes to come here next year throughout the year for all of the shows that are here in the area. So
Very
just want to
good.
let
Thank
you know
you.
that. Thank you.
Anybody else, quick question? All right, motion to adjourn. Ms. Frazier, Ms. Dickinson, we're adjourned.
Good job, Dave.
All right.